This is Gaurav Mathur, the CEO and founder of SafeGold, which is Asia's largest gold trading platform. And so, Gaurav, you have been a banker in London, an equity investor in Singapore, and now you're a fintech founder. And so, give us a brief description of these job profiles.
Yeah, sure. And as a founder of a startup, I think what I tell people is you do everything from being a chairman of a company to being a chaprasi. So when you start, it's just you, right? On the first day, you may have one or two partners, but then you literally have to go down to the neighborhood shop and get those rubber stamps made and, get decks printed and all of that other stuff, which is really, really menial stuff. And then you do all the strategy and fundraising and all the stuff, which is senior level stuff. Then obviously, as the business grows, you do different things, and all the menial stuff, you get people who will take care of it, or you build a bigger team and then you can focus on the more strategic issues. But in the beginning, I don't know whether it's 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, you need to be prepared to do the entire length and breadth of things.
And so, a point I wanted to talk about was that fintech founders usually have a tech background. However, you have a management degree from IMM Ahmedabad. And so, how do you, as a non-tech educated, you could say, entrepreneur, keep abreast with technology?
Okay, I don't have a formal tech education, but I used to code as a hobby, so I could develop my own apps and do all of that stuff, uh, which I was doing in college. Like, we had a library, so I built a library management system for my college and stuff like that. So that's not to say that I'm qualified to build commercial grade tech applications, but that helps you understand a bit. If you code yourself, you have a modicum of understanding. And honestly, if I had a computer science background, I would be better off today than if I didn't. But I think I'm living example of the fact that it's not a deal breaker. It clearly helps if you have the tech background, but as long as you understand it a little bit, and now they have so many resources on the internet where you can educate yourself, that uh, it's good to be to have a tech background, but not a deal breaker if you don't have one.
All right. And so, could you share with us on how the idea of Safe Gold came about?
Ah, So when I was an investor in my private equity days, one of the companies that I invested in and I used to sit on the board of was a company called Manappuram Finance, which is a pawn shop, or it's a gold loan company, as they're called in India, where people go in, they give their gold jewelry and that's used as collateral, and they get a pretty much instant loan against that. And that's over the last. It used to be an unorganized business. After us and a few other private equity firms invested in that sector, it's kind of scaled up and become a very substantial business in India. And I think um, that is where I saw the growth, so that Indians own a lot of gold, and it's one of the biggest sectors in India. And I saw the massive growth when something moves from the unorganized sector to the organized sector. And even investing in gold, even today, is maybe 70, 75% through the unorganized sector. So I think my thought was that I'd seen it once. I had some knowledge of the gold industry through that, and it seemed to be a big opportunity which no one else was chasing at the time. And so I thought it's a good opportunity to build a large, significant business. And also importantly for me, there's no since India is the biggest market for private investment in gold. There's no international competitor as such doing this. Gold investment in other markets is very small. Retail consumers don't really buy that much gold. So uh, if you can build the company that works over here, you'll be the largest company in the world in your sector. So it won't be like Ola started and they got Uber coming in as a competitor. Flipkart started, Amazon came in as a competitor. You don't have any natural global competitors. You have all these Indian social media companies like ShareChat and all of that. But then you have Instagram and you have Twitter and you have all the other global companies that come in and make life very difficult for the local startup. So this was importantly for me. This was a sector that had no direct international competitor. Plus, you were starting in the largest gold market in the world, so that's a natural advantage that you have.